Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
He said, well, tell me how you got in law enforcement. And I was working with Wayne Briscoe, and he and I turned a bulldozer over. And I had to sit and wait for Jimmy Camp to come and chew us both out, because we didn't have cell phones back then. We was just sitting on top of the turned over bulldozer. And Jimmy came there, we pointed our fingers at each other. And I said, I think it's time for me to do something else.
And you weren't family.
Wayne was family and I got the boot, so I don't know. But we did turn a bulldozer over on State Bridge 141, right? That's where we were, Parsons Road. And I had to sit there on pins and needles thinking, and Jimmy just pulls up and he don't even say, he's like, what in the world have y'all done? I just wanted to go home. So, the last couple of weeks in law enforcement has been really trying for us to, not only nationwide, but locally here in Walton County. If some of y'all subscribe to the Walton Tribune, I wrote a letter to the editor and, about how it affected me and affected the Walton County Sheriff's Office. So I'd like to share that letter with you. Not only during that same week that we buried a Walton County Deputy Sheriff, Bear County buried a Deputy Sheriff as well. And then this past Saturday, I got to go to another funeral in Columbia County where a Deputy Sheriff and one Deputy Sheriff was killed and during the line of duty, and another one was severely injured, trying to serve a temporary protective order on a civil issue. And I kind of give you the rundown on that. They made contact with this individual on I-20. The deputies talked to him and said, look, we just got to serve you a civil paper. He was good to go. He said, yes, sir. Turns around, the deputies walk back to the car to get the paper, and he opens fire on them with a AR-style 9mm automatic weapon, killing one, Brandon Sykes, immediately, and gravely wounding the other one. And then there was two other deputies that returned fire and ultimately took care of the situation. But like I said, I drafted a letter to the people of Walton County for me, and I'd like to read it to you. It says, to the people of Walton County, and I was preparing for a command staff, and I found this quote. It said, the strongest people are not those who show strength in front of others, but those who win battles we know nothing about. So I thought about that, these deputies that have went through what they've gone through, their families, the sheriff's offices, you never know how it affects them. So this is the body of the letter. The last 2 weeks have been the most difficult for me as your sheriff thus far. As I was preparing for command staff this week, I found this quote above, and it really made me think. I've always understood that you really don't know what someone's going through until you walk a mile in the shoes. I can tell you this holds true after seeing and experiencing firsthand the pain caused by losing Deputy Jake Monk. This incident took a toll on everyone involved, from his immediate family and friends to his extended family at the Walton County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Monk will be missed and his service will not be forgotten. This was evident by the tremendous outpouring support received from the people of Walton County. I'm not surprised, because this is what makes me proud to live here. I'm not naive to think that there will not be more difficult times, but I do know it makes it easier knowing that we live in a community that cares about our law enforcement agencies and officers. Knowing we have the support is what makes us better. And I promise, as your sheriff, I will continue to maintain my part of this relationship. And I end up saying I want to thank the people of Walton County, and I sincerely do. Y'all don't know what it means to have the support of the community and have friends and have relationships. And as sheriff, you know, it means the world to me to have a relationship with the chairman and the board of education, the police chiefs in the community, the board, the mayors, the judges. It means the world, and it makes my job a lot easier. You know, because when I ran for sheriff, I knew that, you know, I'd been chief deputy for 12 years, and I'd worked for 4 sheriffs, and I understood the role of what the sheriff was. And the most important role of the sheriff is to understand who you work for, just that you work for the people. It's not all about locking somebody up, putting them in jail. I spend majority of my time helping somebody get out of jail. I'll give you a prime example, and this happened yesterday, and I'm gonna move this because I can't see. I can keep my eye on Keith.
Most people like to be.
I was about to say that.
You know, we ended up having to make an arrest on a mentally challenged person 2 days ago because she assaulted a staff member at a personal care home. While we made that arrest, there were 2 doctors there wanting to sign a 1013 to help her, put her in a mental facility, and unfortunately we didn't have anywhere to put her. We didn't have anywhere to take her. And that holds so true in today's society that your jail, the Walton County Jail, is the largest mental health provider in this county. And think about this, I'm not a doctor, and these deputies that we hire are not doctors. And the only avenue that we have is to either get them some help, get them the mental, I don't even understand, you know, the mental help that they need through a provider, or they sit in jail for a crime they commit and they really didn't understand. One of the biggest travesties that I see today is that when people go to court, like we just arrested, judges will find them incompetent to stand trial, and they will write an order to have them restored. And restoration means that they're going to have them sent to Augusta or sent to a mental health facility to see if they're going to be able to stand trial. Once he signs that order, it's automatically a year to a year and 1 or 2 months before they will leave my facility, leave your jail. That means your tax dollars are paid for them. Very, very unfortunate situation that we're in right now. And that's not just in Walton County, but that's statewide and nationwide. You know, I heard a sheriff in Columbia County spoke about this when he was giving his news release about the incident. You know, when we all grew up, maybe not young one over there, we had a place called Milledgeville. So if you messed up, you went to Milledgeville. Or if you were found incompetent, or if you were mentally challenged, that's where you went to try to receive the help you got. Now, either you go to private pay or you end up in the Walton County Jail or in a local jail, which we're not designed to do that. So I'll move on to the first quarter. Listen, I am proud to be your sheriff. From day one, I've been excited. From when I walked in the door, I was actually sitting in my office as my chief deputy office at 11:59. 12 o'clock, me and 2 deputies walked right across the hall, and I occupied the office of sheriff from that day forward. And every day since then, it's, you know, people ask me, say, well, how's the stress, how's this? Let me tell you, I'm less stressed now being sheriff than I was chief deputy. And I'll tell you why, because I get up excited every day to do what's right. You know, and I made a promise to the people that I was going to work hard. So let's just take the circumstances. I walked in the door knowing that we had this new facility, this great facility that the Walton County Board of Commissioners and the taxpayers voted to build, an 800-man facility, 56 medical beds. And as you know, the law enforcement as a whole has taken a beating. I walked in the door, had 126 vacancies. So I had to make some moves pretty quick, you know, to not rebrand our brand, because I am a traditionalist. I believe in the Walton County Sheriff's Office looking like a deputy sheriff. The Georgia Sheriff's Association, we wear the same uniform that they have. Our cars are marked up just like they want them to be. I still have Franklin Thornton's desk. I have his desk and his credenza. I still have some of his files that he left when he passed away while he was in office. I believe in it. I believe in that aspect of it. But I also know it's 2025, and we had to change the way we were doing something, change the way that we were trying to attract people to come to Walton County. So I gave ourselves a facelift. If you noticed, our Facebook has changed. How we interact with the public. We are recognizing deputies that do good that often not think when they should be. We are in the process of reconstructing our website, which will go online at probably the end of this month. With 126 vacancies, I created a recruitment team. I took some of my A players, and y'all that are in business, y'all know who gets things done. So I found a business person in the sheriff's office and gave him something else to do. I brought him in and I said, this is critical. This is vital to the sheriff's office success. I need to go out and recruit people. I need to touch people, get them in the door, show them what we're about, show them where we are right now and where we're going to. And anybody that walks through their new facility will be amazed. The first 2 or 3 times that I walked through, going from a facility that I started in 1992, it was built in 1998, so it was 1989. So it was 3 years old when I began my career there, to a facility at 260,000 square foot facility that will be the envy of all law enforcement in the state of Georgia. I hope to be able to bring law enforcement agencies here to make it a regional training facility for canines or any other things that we have going on. So we did that. I have a team of 4 deputies that are going out and actively recruiting them. In the first quarter of this year, I was able to hire 41 people. And I think it was because we changed our mindset and our culture of the sheriff's office of how we're going to interact with people, how the sheriff was going to interact with people, how the command staff was going to interact with people. And my philosophy is this: I'm going to treat you like you want to be treated. My mom and daddy still live here. I expect them to treat people like I want to be treated, talk to people like you want to be treated. And there's a time and place, and for those that know me, I have a lot less patience than I used to have. And when I began my career in law enforcement, it was a different world. I mean, I went from 2 deputies patrolling in the county to now we have 10, 12, 15, and at any given time I can have 40 deputies at an instant just like that. So we're creating that recruitment team, and that's not even vetting them. We've probably interviewed and vetted probably close to 300, 350 people that we've attracted to from either Facebook or our Instagram to the other social media sites that we have, YouTube, just trying to show people who we are and where we want to be and why we want to be that. We created a recruitment video, and if those, I don't have Facebook. I get to peek on Stacy's, my wife, and it's probably good but overall we've had a response from the community and the people that's been very positive. Very seldom do we have anything that will come across there. And of course, by the law, you can't, would it be in a public site, if somebody does get on there and dog cusses me out, we can't take it off. So we got sued and lost on that, and but hopefully, with our new mindset that won't happen. I'm not naive to think it won't. I realigned some positions within the sheriff's office. Right now, as we stand, we are a 300-man department. Next budget year, we'll end up being 350. And with that, our administrative part of our sheriff's office has had to grow tremendously, because I believe that I created a captain's position that will take over GCIC, our quartermaster, our records and warrants. That is the hub of the sheriff's office. So that part of department really had to grow to facilitate the size of the agency that we were going to. And for those of y'all don't know, I inherited 911 Communications Center. And the Chairman Thompson and the county manager came to me and asked me what and normally it is aligned up under the sheriff's office in some form or fashion. And I agree, and I'll tell you why I agree. Winder, the 911 director, I've been knowing my entire life. And I feel like that we can work together. She can work as a director or division commander of the sheriff's office. When we took that over in March, there were 9 vacancies in that department. Once she fell up under us and fell up under our recruitment, where we've hired 6 of those, actually had some deputies from the sheriff's office transfer to 911, and vice versa. I've had some 911 dispatchers wanting to transfer to the jail. So my whole mindset is that we are one with the sheriff's office. And let me tell you, the sheriff's office is bigger than one person. It's about being a team. It's about getting the job done and what's necessary to do what we need to do for y'all. I'm not going to lie to you, and this is my first budget process as sheriff, and I'll tell you, it's been eye-opening because I've learned a tremendous amount of dealing with. I already have relationships with our commissioners and our chairman. I made a joke the other day that Melissa Rusk, our human resource director, and let me tell y'all, if y'all in your car and your phone rings, they can hear what you say before you mash the button, because she called me, and one of my division managers was riding down the road, and I said, she's calling me to tell me I can't do something now. And she didn't even say anything. I answered the phone, and of course I changed my tone. I said, hey Melissa, how are you? And she's like, of course she was calling me to tell me I couldn't do something. And, about 3 days later, she and John Ward, the county manager, we were meeting. She said, I want to tell you I heard that. And I said, well, it was true when I said it. But this process going through the budget, and Jody can tell you, we had several work sessions, and I only asked for what I needed to operate the facility. You know, you went from a 400-man jail to an 800-man jail. I asked for what I needed to fully operate the jail, to occupy the jail, and it was a staggering number. And I know it put some pressure on the commissioners, and I commend them because they've all committed that they're going to support public safety, and they've been willing to work with me and work with me on the fact that I really, even though I was chief deputy for so long, we had when you're ultimately in charge of what goes on, and you're the last, when the buck stops with you, you got to answer those questions of who, what, when, and where. I am willing to work with them to let them know that I want to get the job done, but as safely as possible for the deputies that work in the sheriff's office. And I finish up here. I know y'all got to go back to work, but I want to thank you for the opportunity to come in and speak to you. Many of y'all are my friends. I just met a couple of people I didn't know, but don't hold it against me and Wayne for turning the bulldozer. We turned out pretty good.
It's not the only one that ever got turned over.
So I'll tell you this: if you don't know Jimmy Camp, I always tell him, I said, you broke me. You broke me because when I left and I put in for the sheriff's office, Jimmy said, if you stay with me, I'll make you a good living. And that was on the heels of me and Wayne hand strawing a 12-to-1 slope over on State. I was like, I think you got me, Jimmy. You broke me. So, but I will promise you this: as your sheriff, I'll always work hard for you. I'll look in the eye and stand on the ground and tell you the truth. And if sometimes I might tell you something that you not want to hear, but it'll absolutely be what's necessary to be heard. So, thank you for your time. I appreciate y'all, and I'll take any questions that you'll have if you have any.
You keep talking, is the new jail open?
No.
Okay, so when you keep talking about the 800, you're talking about the 800 beds in the new jail?
They're in the process of the new facility will be They phased it in. Of course, they started at the front, the administrative part, and they've worked all the way back through the jail, administrative, until the jail. So the administrative part will be probably completed by the end of May. Sometime it'll be ready to be the keys handed to the sheriff's office. And then the administrative part, and then there'll be they're going to finish up the jail. There will be a point where we transition into the jail, the administrative part. People don't realize I got thousands and thousands of pieces of evidence down there that'll have to be moved. I'll probably have a skeleton staff that will occupy that building in the interim. And, you know, I feel like this, and I've told Chairman Thompson this, and I've told, as a sheriff, you know, I'm going to do what's right to make sure that we get in there as quickly as possible once I'm able to hire the people I have. But I'll probably be the last one to move. And because I'm not going to leave my chief jailer in a broom closet, and I'm not going to leave those deputies up there. Now, I might move the entire sheriff's office, but I'll be the last one to walk out the door. And I'm just not going to do that and put myself in a position. I'm not going to put them in that position. I'm here to support them. That jail is, with the current conditions, officer assaults have went up. I just had one have urine thrown in his eyes from a murder suspect. And he was already, I call it in jail, he was already on administrative segregation, and the deputy was just doing his routine checks in the middle of the night like we're supposed to, and he decided to get up and throw a cup of urine in his face. And ultimately, after he and I had a conversation, I charged that individual, and on top of his murder charges, I won't tolerate that. I just can't do that. And I don't think I'd be doing justice to the people that work down there, but people need to know that those deputies and jailers in that jail are working a dangerous job, and I explain that to them on a daily basis. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way, you know. And there again, I go back to, I'll treat you as good as you allow me to treat you.
A different world inside there.
That particular cell, they only get out 15 minutes a day. You know, I had to shut 2 cells down because they stuffed the ventilation vents with paper and trash and everything else, and tried to set it on fire. It's unbelievable. But the new facility, you know, going from a 1988 version to a 2025 version, it'll be a whole lot easier to maintain, and a different locking system, you know. If a lock breaks in that part of the jail, I have to have it machined. It's $3,000 per lock. They'll take toothpaste, which why in the world somebody would take toothpaste and jam the lock so they can pop out? They got 23 hours and 45 minutes to figure out how to do it. So, but I will say this, we're up and coming. The atmosphere at the sheriff's office is positive. We have a lot of momentum going. We realize the support we have at the sheriff's office. And I'm proud to be a sheriff.
We're proud to have you.
So,
Keith, who took your place as chief deputy?
I had to name the chief deputy.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
So we got a chance, Wayne.
You do have a chance. But I'll tell you why, you know, because I worked for Sheriff Chapman for 12 years as his chief deputy, and I understand what it takes to make sure that the sheriff is protected, not only from the public, from himself, from people that come in. I sent 3 people to chief deputy school this past week, and they all 3 came back and had an appreciation for what I did for 12 years. And the fact of it is that I haven't relinquished a lot of what I did as chief deputy because I feel like that I want to still be accessible to the people. Matter of fact, that's one complaint I have about the new jail and the new sheriff's office. They put my office in the far corner of that building. And I go back into the jail on a daily basis. I mean, a regular basis, and now I gotta walk a half a mile to get to the jail. But I haven't named that person yet. Once we get into the new facility, I'm gonna unveil my whole plan as far as my command staff, the true structure, of what I'm gonna restructure. I just haven't done it yet. I wanted to come in, get my footprint on the sheriff's office, let people know what I expect, how I want them to look, act, dress, work with others. And I'm going to end up by saying this, and I'm not ashamed to say it at all. I just left National Day of Prayer in Loganville. But prior to me becoming sheriff, and during the time that I ran, God put a peace upon me that I can't explain what he did, or why he did it. I'm not even going to ask him. And that's when I tell you I'm less stressed being sheriff now than I was with chief deputy, is because of that peace. And I feel good about, I go to bed every night and I sleep good at night. I feel good about the decisions I make. And I feel good about the direction that the sheriff's office is going. And, you know, I'm just thankful for that. I'm thankful for that peace. I open to every command staff with prayer. And it just feels good to be able to do that. So, and what you see is what you get. I'm just going to tell you. So.
What's going to happen to the old facility?
You know, I've heard several different things. My personal opinion is the jail part of it probably needs to be bulldozed down.
But you don't need to drive that bulldozer.
Me and Wayne would flip it over.
Y'all just supervise.
Don't watch from afar.
I'm gonna use the thumb rule with that one. I've heard of repurposing the administrative part of the sheriff's office as Union County offices. You know, ultimately it'll be a decision up to the commissioners and what they decide to do. I can tell you if you haven't walked through the old facility, I'll be glad to give you a tour. You can come through and see what it's like now and where we're going to, and see the difference. I don't know.
When will we be able to take a tour of the new jail? Is it open? Could we walk over?
Well,
there?
right now, you know, there's so much construction. The tours have been limited because of the construction staff. But I have taken our staff over there through there. I've taken the people that we've hired, the new jailers, to let them know where they're going to work out. They're actually going to be next week, I believe, doing some of the punch out work on the front part of it. There will be a whole phase of tours and for the community. I've invited, I would like to have a couple of groups come, some Rotaries and Kiwanis clubs come through, and any other people of the community that would like to come through and see it. And I think you'll be amazed when I say it's going to be something that Walton County can grow into until I retire. I mean, we'll be here long after I'm gone. So.
Well, crime's not going to stop, so I don't doubt that we'll go into it.
You know, I'm the firm believer you're only good as your last screw up. So
That's right.
but we did catch an armed robber the other day, and
Yeah.
we were blessed to. I picked up the phone and called Sheriff Brown in Newton County. He sent about 8 or 9 deputies and a couple of state troopers over there, and we were able to box them in. And he had ran right into Newton County, and that's the reason I called the Newton County Sheriff's Office. But when we all ganged up and was fixing to go into Newton County with Newton County, he ran out of the house and ran back into Walton County.
So we got him in our jail.
We got him in Walton County. So.
Dang it, you should have kept him over there.
So, but thank y'all again. I appreciate y'all. Most of y'all have my cell phone number. If you don't, it's pretty available. It's the same one I've had for the last 25 years.
And that is appreciated. You answer your phone too.
Pick up the phone and call me. If I don't answer, I'll call you back, because I got like 6 while I'm sitting up here today. So I'll call you back, and I'll do anything I can do to help you.
Thank you. We did last year. Yes, go ahead. Thank you. It was a bunch. I'm sure they've run out by now. For the deputies to give the kids to comfort the kids when they're arrested. I'd like to do that again at some point. We don't have them today. We gave some to the sheriff's department and some to the police department as well. I'd like to do that again after you get in your new facility. So we look forward to that.
Well, you know, I wouldn't be, if you want it, I just gave 2 away yesterday. And it means the world to these kids when they come into the jail with their grandmama or somebody wanting to get somebody out of jail. A little girl, I went by and she grabbed my pinky and I said, let's go get you a toy. I tried to give her a junior deputy badge. She didn't want it.
So you do still have some. That's good. But
We got
some
Yeah.
more.
We're
That was
about
a
run
great
out of
idea.
it. So,
Okay.
I mean, they're pretty, those are hot commodity at the sheriff's office.
That's good. We're
Good.
glad they're being used.
That's great.
Thank you for what
Thank
you
you.
do.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. We have a lot coming up this spring and summer. Of course, on May 10th, we have the garden tour. There are 8 separate venues on the garden. 6 of them are private homes. 2 of them there's a flower farm, and then the Master Gardeners greenhouse is on the tour as well. Scott Prophet will be, you don't want to miss that one because Scott Prophet will be there giving away tree seedlings at the Master Gardeners greenhouse. But the 6 private gardens are just amazing. They're just so lovely. One of the garden owners, I was talking to him the other day, and he said he'd been working on his garden for 30 years. Another one of our garden owners was an artist that was trained in Paris. I mean, she's just got this artistic eye. So it's just a fabulous tour. We will have tickets available probably right up until the day of the tour on May 10th. So please come on in, get your ticket. The map/guide is ready. That's actually your ticket into the event, and it's necessary to have that because, of course, all the addresses and everything is on there. So those are ready for you to pick up at your convenience. The tickets are $30, and so please do support us. All the money comes back to us that we make on this event to help us further our mission to bring art for all to our community, our special needs art classes, our Art MD initiatives, just all the things that we're doing here. It helps to support that. The other thing that will be going on that day in one of the gardens will be Growers Outlet will have a plant sale. 100% of the money that's raised from that plant sale is given back to us. Marika is so generous and so kind to us. Her daughter took classes here for years, and Marika loves us. She's the owner of Growers Outlet, and she just loves us and supports us in so many amazingly kind ways. So that will be one of the things going on. So that's May 10th. Don't miss it. It's such a fun thing to do. It's Mother's Day weekend. So if you have a mother, if you have a daughter, if you have a sister, you know, a friend, anybody, treat them as to a day out on that Saturday. The other things we have coming up this summer are our summer camps. We've expanded. Now we have 6 summer camps through the summer during June and July. We have clay camps, which is pottery, of course, and then the rest are mixed media camps. They'll be doing all kinds of different projects. So everything is on our website at monroewaltonarts.org. You can check everything out there or drop by the Art Center. Right now in our gallery, of course, we have the pottery and photography show. We have 18 potters, at least, maybe more, in the show. And they'll be bringing new things in, especially as things sell. They'll be bringing things in. I'll tell you, one of our potters, her table almost completely sold out before we even opened the show. She was setting up. Somebody came in, several people came in, and almost cleared out her table. So, but she's brought new things in. They're ready for you. They're ready to replenish and replace what is sold. We have whimsical things, useful things, functional pottery, anything. If you have somebody in your life that loves pottery, this is the place you want to come to buy them a Christmas present, birthday presents, whatever. It's just fabulous. And then also part of the show is photography. We've got a smattering of photography. I think we've got 4 or 5 different photographers in this show. So please come support local arts. We try to give a lot back to our community. I think we do a lot of really good, positive things in our community. And so please come in, browse the shop, browse the gallery. Everything in the gallery is available for purchase. Very, 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 very affordable. So please come see us, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for watching. I'm Dina Huff, the Executive Director for the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth. And I wanted to hop on this morning, give you a little update about what's going on with the partnership, and invite you to our collaborative meeting, which is, today is the first day of May. And our next collaborative meeting is May the 20th. That's on a Tuesday at 8 a.m. here at our offices, which are located at the Board of Ed Annex Building, and that's in Monroe. So if you have something to share that's related to family and children's services or an event, we invite everyone to attend. If you have more questions about that, you can always reach out to me by phone or by email. But I do want to invite anyone that's interested in attending those meetings to come share their information. Also, I wanted to let you know, since it is the 1st of May, Fish for Kids will be starting the summer feeding program for the children of Walton County. So if you know of a child that is in need of a meal for lunch for the summer, please reach out to Fish and let them know. And I think I'm going to give you the correct number, but their number is 770-209-3675. Like I said, if you know of a child that needs a meal for this summer, each day they will be doing it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They will be delivering meals. So reach out to them, get that child put on the list, and they'll make sure that they get a meal for the summer. And one last thing before I turn it over to my lovely coworker, Tisha McRae, I wanted to remind everyone about Workforce Wednesday. They do this all throughout the year, and the next one is May 7th at Monroe Walton County Library from 1 until 3. And if you know of anyone, or if you're looking for a job, they will coach you, they will help you with your resume. They may have employers there on site. Just show up. If you already have a resume, bring it with you, and they can coach you into finding a job or potential starting a job. So that is through the Development Authority of Walton County. So just show up on May 7th at the Walton County Library. So now I'm going to turn it over to Tish, because she has a lot of exciting things to share with you all.
Thank you so much, Dina. Good morning, everyone. Like Dina said, I'm Tisha McRae, and I work with her doing some youth development work for the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth. I'm also the Teen Advocacy Board advisor for the Walton Youth Project, and I do want to let you know about a couple of things we've got coming up. Tonight, Dina and I are going to be welcoming all of our new board members. We just interviewed and put in place a new board of high schoolers that is 29 students who are going to be bringing some fun grassroots initiatives to the community. A couple of those is we're working with the 21st Century Community Learning Center program over the summer to put on a little lip sync battle for them. That's something that we've done before, so we're going to bring that organizational model over to them. And then we're also having a summer camp. We've done this for several years, that is our own summer camp, but it is a partnership with Georgia Tech this year. It's funded by Georgia Tech, the National Science Foundation, and our own private funding with the Walton County Healthcare Foundation. And I'm going to grab my flyer It's called Walton Wise, and again, we started this originally during COVID, and it is WISE is sort of a take on STEAM or STEM, but ours stands for Wellness, Ingenuity, Science, and Engineering. We like to add that wellness component in there. We work some mental health and physical health in. And then, of course, ingenuity. I think Walton County people know a lot about that, being in an agricultural community, having a lot of small businesses. It's really just helping kids to sort of think outside the box at what they might be able to do. And then science and engineering, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. But this Birdie curriculum from Georgia Tech is biologically inspired design. So if you know of any kids who are interested in this kind of thing, these camps are $2,500 sometimes for a month. Down at Georgia Tech, they're about $375 a week sometimes, and ours is free. So you do have to be a Walton County resident, since that's what our funding is linked to, but we would love to have you. This camp is being taught and led by two of our youth advocacy board members. One is an alumni. Graham Finn is a University of Georgia graduate in biological engineering, and Brody Bell, who is at Monroe Area High School, about to graduate and headed to Georgia Tech next year. So we are just so excited to be able to have this camp be bigger and better than ever before. The next thing, though, is a fundraising event that we're hosting in October at the Wayfarer Music Hall, and it is called Fright Mike. It is a community cabaret, and we're looking for sort of autumn, fall, maybe some spooky themed songs, and we're really interested in finding some local talent here in Monroe and Walton County. I know we have a lot of people who might want to come out and sing for us to raise some money for our group. So thank you so much for having me today, Dina, and hope everyone has a great week.
And I do want to share my phone number with you in case you had any questions about what I shared. My number is 770-207-3175. And I'm so excited about all the things that we have going on for our kids of Walton County. And like Tish said, that is a free summer camp. So what are the ages again?
It's high school, so rising 9th graders through
Okay.
12th graders.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you're interested, please reach out to us and get your kids signed up, because I have actually participated in some of those events, and it's going to be such a blast. So you won't regret it. So thank you all for joining us this morning, and we hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Jay Connor. I'm the Family and Consumer Sciences Agent here in Walton County. Today I wanted to invite you to our summer canning series. We're going to have 3 different canning classes on May the 29th, July 1st, and July 22nd. They're all going to be at 2 o'clock here at the Ag Center. And we'd love for everyone to come out. We're going to do a different recipe every class. So we're going to start with strawberry jam, move into pickles, and we're going to end off at salsa. So if you're planning a garden or you're interested in learning new recipes, we'd love for you to come on out. Those classes are going to be $30 each. If you want to come to all 3, it'll be $80. If you want to come to all 3 classes and receive a copy of our cookbook, So Easy to Preserve, that'll be $115. If you want to register, you can call us at 770-267-1324. That is 770-267-1324. Thanks and have a great day.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful in the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I also wanted to take the time to thank everyone who came out to our shredding day in Loganville this past Saturday. We had upwards of 60 cars come out. I hadn't got the numbers on exactly how much weight we collected that day, but I did want to thank everyone who came out. We had a great turnout and a great time. The citizens seemed to really appreciate the event we had. We are looking forward to doing another one. I still don't have a date for one here in Monroe yet, but that is being worked on. It's been harder to find an open date than we thought it might be, but we're going to continue to work on it, and I will keep you updated. Also, at the event in Loganville, we partnered with the Loganville Lions Club. I wanted to make sure I thank the volunteers from the Lions Club for coming out to help. We also had the Walton County Civil Air Patrol that came out, excuse me, and want to make sure I thank those groups for coming out. They were a big help getting all the cars unloaded, getting the paper, getting, out and into the truck and people in and out quickly. So thank you to all the volunteers who came out to help, and thanks to all the citizens that showed up. Also wanted to thank the Monroe Country Day School for having me out for an Earth Day program back on Earth Day. Enjoyed meeting with all the kids and to see kids so interested in recycling and just their environment and being good stewards of the environment. It really is great to see. So I wanted to make sure I gave a shout out to the Monroe Country Day School for having me out for Earth Day. Here at the center, we also had a group come out to do a Earth Day program. It was a Cub Scout pack from Social Circle. Love having those kids out here and getting them started on the right foot to just be environmentally conscious and aware of the world around them and what's going on and why it is a good thing that for us to take care of our planet. So been really busy here at the center and wanted to make sure I thank the groups that came out and the ones that had me come in to talk a little bit about what we do here. Moving forward, it is that time of year. We're starting to see a lot of people that mistakenly come here with their grass clippings. They're starting to, still pruning some of their bushes and crepe myrtles, and we're having to turn around a lot of cars. Just wanted you to be aware, those, again, to remind you that those items can't come here. They have to go to an inert landfill. We have an inert landfill in the county in the Good Hope area and the Highway 81 inert landfill over in the Loganville area. That is where all of those, all of those items need to go to an inert landfill. We just can't accept them here. They turn our trucks around if they make it to the MSW landfill. They can't go in there. So just trying to save you a trip. And like I always do, want to invite you to come out, see what we do here, get started recycling for the first time. If you're an old school recycler, come out and see us. Let us see if there's something else you could be recycling that maybe you aren't. There's always opportunities. Remind folks that we have a volunteer board here. We would love to have you come out and volunteer with us. We're always looking for volunteers. Give us a call here at 770-267-1421 if you're looking for any volunteer opportunities. We'd be happy to provide you with some, have you come out to some meetings, and just see what we do here. So again, give us a call if you have any questions. Come out and see us, and until next time, take care.
Today on the Feed the Goats, we're going to try a new classic thin crusted pizza. So let's see what they think about this thin crusted pizza. All right, Sophie, would you like a bite of it? Oh, you do it. How about Heidi? I do think they like the thin crusted pizza. You grabbed the whole thing, didn't you, girl? Got one more here. Two come in a package. These are out of date, so that's why I'm feeding them to the goats. And you notice how they bite up. They don't have top teeth. They're just cutting it with their bottom teeth, so they always bite up so the bottom teeth can cut through. Sophie, I think you've got a mouthful, don't you, girl? Here's Sophie. Here's Sophie. Heidi. Here's Sophie. Thank you, bye. And we've got some bread to try out here. Let's see. This is wheat Subway rolls. They've gone out of date too, so let's see what they do with these Subway rolls. Wheat, so they really ought to like this, having wheat in them. I think Heidi can out-eat Sophie. Well, I guess that's it for today on Feed the Goats. As you can tell, they like the crusted pizza and they like the Subway rolls. So this is Paul Mullins with Walton Entertainment.
Hey, I'm Isaac with Reboot, giving you the Reboot Tech Tip. Again, I want to talk about a little bit about security. One thing I want to talk about is like checking your bank account transactions or your credit card transactions. Now, I personally don't do this a lot, but I do, every other month or every few months, I'll go through and just look and see what kind of transactions are coming through, especially if you do like auto pay on things. So there's been a few times where I've looked at my bank accounts and been like, well, I have no idea what this is, and I'll call the bank and they're like, oh, we don't know what it is either. And so we'll have to, usually I have to go down to the bank and be like, okay, well, let's figure it out. Like, where is this coming from? And it may be a process that they can do right then, or maybe a process that takes a couple days. And I'm trying to remember, there was a time or two where we had to figure out where it was coming from. We had to call that company. And I want to say once it was something that shouldn't have been there. And that just comes from me checking, what's the stuff that we sign up for, or something we might accidentally sign up for on the internet, or, something on some web page somewhere. It can be something as easy as your email, and there's a little ad on the side, and you accidentally click on it, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do this, and then they're getting you for your $15-20 a month or whatever it may be. It's important to check those things. And again, I know it's kind of tedious or it's a pain, but I have found that it's been worth it. The other thing too that I want to talk about kind of in that same realm is phishing. So, and not phishing with an F, but phishing with a PH. There's lots of scams out there. You can get an email, and that's really the biggest thing about phishing is an email you might get. And it might look like it's from somebody you know, and it's really not. It may even be like a company you work with, but it's actually not. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll put like one letter in there that'll be different, or there might be like a hyphen in there, and I'm talking about from the email address. Or it may just be somehow that they can do like one uppercase letter, just stuff like that. It's easy to mimic an actual email address that you're familiar with. It could be somebody you know. You're like, hey, look at this picture, and you click on the link. It's and I've only ever seen it be like a link. So you click on the link and then it takes you to some website, or it just automatically downloads something and you don't know that it's doing anything. It's doing all this stuff in the background, and then they're on your computer, whoever they may be. And it could be a year before they mess with you, or they may never mess with you. A lot of times what'll happen is they'll get on your computer, they start looking at your stuff, they watch you get on your bank account, they watch you look at your credit cards. They can tell what you're typing in, stuff like that. So the biggest thing is, if you suspect anything, don't click on it. You know, call that person or call that company. Hey, what is this? Or if you accidentally click on it, you need to take it to a shop like us or whoever, and have them look at it, you know, and explain what you did and what happened. Another big one with that is if you let anybody on your computer and you're not familiar with them, or you don't know who they are, or you know, there's lots of fake websites set up like HP. There's HP is not doing it, but there's fake HP sites that get people all the time. They come in here and they're like, oh, this is a site I went to. Well, that's not an actual official HP site. Did you let somebody on your computer? Yes, we did. Okay. We need to wipe the computer. You know, there's no other way to fully fix it. So just be careful of the whole phishing thing. You know, one other thing on the phishing thing I want to touch on is you could just be on the internet and accidentally run your mouse over something and something downloads. Or you can run your mouse over, you don't even have to click on it now. You just run the cursor over, you know, something on some website, and it can actually be a reputable website, and then something flashes up. You know, this is Microsoft, call da-da-da-da-da. That's a scam. You know, don't call the number. Do not call the number. You know, you turn your computer off right away, boot the computer back up. If it's gone, you're okay. If it's not gone, again, you need to bring it to somebody like us, let us look at it, you know, see if we can fix it. Well, I mean, we can fix it, but see what it takes to fix it. But anyway, that's it. Isaac with Reboot, giving you the Reboot Tech Tip. Come check out our computers. We sell new and used stuff. We also do repairs and all kind of stuff. Thanks.
Your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference.